MMA Rants and Raves, UFC 119, Evan Dunham versus Sherk. Guys, if you haven't watched this fight yet, stop the video, watch the fight, and then come back to the video. All right, let's talk about it. Now, first of all, I have a serious rant about this fight, and you're probably saying, oh yeah, I know what your rant is going to be. It's about Evan Dunham, who should have got the decision. Now, I'm here to tell you that I think, in a way, the way things were set up in this fight, that Sherk was vindicated by getting this victory. Of course, at the expense of Evan Dunham. Now, I'm going to explain what I mean right now. And I don't know why this really hasn't been discussed. If you look at the end of the first round, a round that was basically dominated by Sherk. Sherk got two big, dominant takedowns, clearly lifting Evan Dunham in the air and slamming him down. The second one that he got, towards the end of the first round, he sliced Evan Dunham open. I mean, it was nasty. It looked like he had a knife that cut him open. It was a deep, deep wound. And if you look at Evan Dunham in the corner, when they were looking at it, I mean, the crowd just responded with a moan. It was really nasty. It was a deep, deep cut right by his eye. Now, the point is, guys, if you watch what happened, you saw that Sherk was really burying Evan Dunham with punches and elbows and ground and pound, and it was really, really getting bad. And when the cut was opened up, the ref stops the fight, taking all of Sherk's dominance away. Getting a takedown is not easy in mixed martial arts, depending on who you're fighting. And then, of course, if you're in a dominant position against the cage and you're just dropping elbows and bombs, especially in a position where Sherk is very dominant and has been dominant throughout his career, and especially against a guy who has a huge reach advantage, just to get inside, to get the takedown, I mean, it's hard to get. You're in a position that's very dominant. All that is taken away just because the guy got a cut, which is what you were trying to do, right? You stand Dunham up, he gets a breather, right? Checked out by the doctors. And then what happens? To add insult to injury, they just stand up, fight right back up again. I'm like, what the heck is going on here? I mean, don't you guys remember in the old Pride days, you know, when the fight took place in the ring? Whenever they had to stop a fight, for any reason, they would make the fight go back to the place where it last took place. And they take the fighters, put them back in the center of the ring, and then they would continue to fight. What do they do here? Not only do they take Sherk away from a dominant position in which he may have been able to end the fight, okay, because he cut this guy open, they stop the fight, rewarding Dunham in a way, and then they start the fight standing up. I mean, at least start the fight back up to where it was, which is really what they should do if they're trying to simulate a real fight, right? The fight would continue where it was. You don't stand them back up again. I just couldn't understand that. I mean, what a horrible rule that is. I mean, I remember in Pride, that's the way they did it, and that's the right way to do it. I don't know who makes these rules up. Is it the Athletic Commission? I mean, is it the ref's discretion? That's something I don't even know. I have not looked into this at all. It just did not make any sense to me. And as far as the cut is concerned, I mean, maybe it could have been a no contest or something. It's just terrible to take. It's just, in my opinion, unjust, especially when you have a fighter in such a dominant position, to take that away from him because the fighter that he's dominating happens to get a cut. And then just start the fight back up standing again. It just really bothered me. And throughout the fight, I remember, I said, you know what? Especially when Dunham was really gaining momentum in that second round, and it was all Dunham in the third round, basically. I didn't understand Sherk's strategy. Try to bang with this guy. Why are you doing this? Go back to the clinch. Try to get this guy down. That's what's worked for you. It's just worked throughout your career. I didn't get it. And Sherk really paid the price. He was getting hit time and time again with some huge strikes, leg kicks, punches, just coming at him with bunches. He was being rocked. And it was going to go to a decision after it ended. And I'm like, oh, you know, Dunham's going to win this fight. To my surprise, Sherk won it. So in a way, you could look at the judge's decision as being unfair But since it was unfair, it was maybe fair to Sherk because of what happened in that first round. Now, of course, it's not fair to Dunham because, I really thought he won the fight minus what happened in that first round. Because think about it. If that fight wasn't stopped, there's a good chance, even though there was very little time left in that first round, that Sherk could have finished Dunham right there. If not finish him, continue with more ground and pound, which may have made that cut even worse. And it may have caused it to end in a second. So, these are all what ifs. But you have to look at those things. And because of the rules that were in place, that momentum was just grabbed, just robbed away from Sherk. So the way I see it, that's the way it turned out. But the point is, guys, these rules have to change. I mean, that is a ridiculous rule to stand up to fighters after the guy is in such a dominant position. I mean, to just stand them right back up again like that. It's totally unfair to Sherk. Any fighter that's in that kind of position. I just did not understand it. I don't know. Would like to know what you guys think about it. So leave your comments below the video. Rate this video, subscribe, and thank you for tuning in.